Welcome to my new DVD on the London System, London 2019. I hope you're excited. I'm pretty excited to be presenting this DVD, which is really a follow-up extension and a whole new product compared to the DVD I did in 2016, about 3 years ago, on the same opening. Now, why am I filming another DVD on the London System? Is it to cash in? No, but that does help. It's actually because so much has happened with this opening in the last 2 or 3 years. It requires an update. So we are going to look at any new developments that I can have found in the last 3 years. We're going to have a serious look at the theory there. But also, if you're buying this product fresh, I will be showing you again how to play the London System from, maybe you've had no experience at all of the London System. I'm going to bring you into that exciting world of the London System and try to show you why it's such a desirable opening to play. And it really is a fun opening. I mean, it's a fantastic weapon to have with the white pieces, no matter what people say. It's been proven. A lot of people did sniff at the London System a while back and say, oh, you shouldn't play the London System, give it a London System. Lots of coaches I know said this to their pupils. But hang on a minute, who's played the London System in the last 3 years? Magnus Carlsen? Hikaru Nakamura? You just name them. Wesley So? Name them. Name the top players. They've all played the London System on a regular basis. Grischuk, Aronian, then the list goes on of the world's elite. So it's been played at top level, which is a good sign. It means it's a good opening. And it's been played very regularly at a lower level. So I'm going to address, hopefully, both of those spectrums. I'm going to address the latest developments for those of you who are higher rated. But I'm also going to, try to introduce some of you back, to the London System. So there might be a bit of a crossover with the first one. So I do like explaining the ideas behind an opening as much as I can to people who fresh to this DVD. I think that is important. So those of you who are experts in the London System, I apologise if I'm repeating some of the things I have done. I'll try to keep it a bit more fresh, but it's bound to happen. It's just a natural thing with this DVD. So I will have a look in a video in a second about the latest developments. So we will discuss what's different in this DVD in a separate video. But first of all, I want to sort of introduce you to the layout of this DVD. Maybe a little bit about the move order. We're going to talk about that again in another, a bit more later on. But I generally want to talk about what's going to be in this DVD, what you can expect, how it's going to help you, why the opening is a good opening, what things you should be thinking immediately. So let's talk about the London System and our strategy to start with. And I really want to break, first of all, this DVD down into Black's replies, because like any opening, we have to adapt our strategy to what our opponent plays. So what is this DVD broken up into? Well, after the move D4, the first part of the DVD is going to be dealing with setups with D5. And we have to think, when would our opponent play D5? Well, if our opponent's a Queen's Gambit player, Queen's Gambit accepted player, a Slav player, a semi-Slav player, it's a very traditional move, D5. So it will happen a lot, especially popular at club level. So the first part of our DVD is going to be against this. So what do we therefore have to think about if our opponent plays D5? Well, let's think about our setup to start with. And our setup is like the previous DVD I did. First of all, we want to get our bishop outside of the pyramid. I've painted the position red there, not black, not like the Rolling Stones. Brilliant song. I painted it red. Do, paint it red. And the reason we put our bishop here is because we want to support our pawn on D4. After, let's say, knight to F6, we want to create what I call the pyramid. E3 and at some moment C3. And you can see we have this kind of pyramid pawn structure. And as everyone knows, pyramids are very stable and interesting monuments. And that is the same with the London system. We put our bishop on f4 because it's outside of the pyramid. It's not trapped in the tomb. You don't want it to be one of those in an esophagus hiding down in the dungeons of the pyramid, not being able to see the light of day. This soldier wants to be outside of the pyramid. So this is what we do next. And then we've got to think about our pieces. And our pieces in the London have a very bright future. Our knights come to f3 and d2. And this light square bishop is a key piece. This light square bishop sits behind our pyramid here. And this has very good attacking chances against h7 later on. So this is our general strategy. But one thing I really want to stress, and this is something which I think a lot of players who brought off my first DVD didn't quite get to grips with, is the way we get our setup. So the way we get our pieces to the squares we want to there, it of course depends on what black plays and what move order black plays. We've got to be very aware of the move order. So what I mean by that is after bishop f4, and the reason I play bishop f4 in this position rather than the more, I guess, popular move knight to f3. You can play knight to f3 to get into the same kind of structures. I prefer bishop f4, and the reason I prefer it is that in some lines where black plays, I leave the knight on g1. In some lines where black plays bishop d6, I mean, not necessarily here, we have options of capturing and now playing f4. This is a move we can't play, of course, if our knight is in the way of the pawn. So, for example, if we had played knight to f3 here, we have no options of moving our f-pawn. So this is number one. Another option is, I think we're a bit more flexible with bishop to f4. One of the oldest ways that black equalizes is as follows. This is something we want to avoid in the London system, is after knight to f3, after standard developing, c5 is a good hit, e3, knight c6. A common error here that used to be played unbelievably often was c3, and this is a move I talked about in the first DVD again. And the problem here is that queen b6 equalizes immediately. And again, this shows you some of the dangers of playing the move order without thinking. We've got to be aware of queen b6. How do we want to meet this move? We either want to meet it with queen b3, when black should never take on b3 because it opens up the A line for our rook, which is going to be good for us. But in this particular case, black can play c4, and the same goes for us taking on b6. We don't really want to do that because it opens up the A file and black's pawn comes to b4 very quickly. So how do we meet this move c4 in these positions? We try to always meet it with queen c2, keeping some life with queens on the board. But in this position, can you remember, if you got the first DVD, or maybe if you're new to this, what black should play? And this is all due to us not developing this knight on b1. We should have developed the knight on b1. Sorry, let me just go back to the position there. So after queen c2, what should be played? Well, bishop to f5. And the point of this move is we have problems down here. And we don't want to play queen c1. We're playing far too passively here. If we take the bishop, in this case, because that pawn is defended, queen takes b2 is just very good for black. So this is something to watch out for. And my preferred move order by playing the bishop here, I find more flexible, because if we get the same kind of thing, c5, okay, in this position, black might aim for the same thing. We can now think of a couple of different ways to avoid that. c3 is actually okay here as long as you follow up with knight d2. As long as you get your knight to d2 quickly before the queen comes to b6, queen b6 is never a worry, because if black tries the same thing, well, bishop f5 is a blunder, because we don't have problems with our rook because of rook b1, and we're just a piece up. So this is a very simple way to play. And other things to bear in mind in this line. Again, we're talking about move order a bit already here. This is something I really want you to think about, is that after this knight d2 move, again, I just like the flexibility of leaving the knight here. Is there any downsides leading the knight here? Not that I can see. The other thing is, if bishop g4, we don't have to go knight f3. We can play f3. This is more flexible. Let's say we move the knight to f3 a bit earlier. And again, I'm trying to give quite a good fight for my bishop f4 move. Is that in some cases, again, black has the option of going bishop g4. And he doesn't have this. It's not as effective when our knight's on g1. We have more options. So that's really, like, just a little introduction to this DVD. Now, the way it's broken up, again, I just want to sort of say that d5 is what we're starting with, and d5 is the first part of this DVD, and you're going to get that a lot. The second part of this DVD will happen if your opponent is an Queen's Indian, a Nimzo Indian player. So we're going to then look at setups with e6. And another reason I like playing bishop to f4 here, and this is a new idea for this DVD, is that in some situations after this move, if black plays b6 here, which is a very common move, I'm not going to recommend the same line as I recommended in my first DVD. I found an even spicier way to play this with queen f3. And this is a really enjoyable way to play the position, which is very aggressive and causing black problems straight away. So this is a new idea we're going to look at in the second part of this DVD, how to face the Nimzo Indian, the Queen's Indian. And this causes problems to black already when we can often go g4 attack. So this is something which is new. And the third part of this DVD, we will look at openings which will occur if black is a King's Indian player, Grunfeld player, maybe Benko player, maybe Benoni player, where he plays g6. The theory with g6 has developed quite a lot here since the first DVD. I'm again recommending knight c3. I don't see any reason not to. And I'm again recommending h4 early, but we're going to look at the latest theory there. Things have changed a lot, and there's a lot more to take in, but it's all quite good for white, so we can be happy. And then we're going to move on to ideas with black playing c5 in this position, which I admitted in the first DVD, 2016, that this was maybe one of the best ways to play against our move order. In that DVD, I suggested the move d5. The reason for this is I'd like to play e3 here. E3 would be the setup we want to get, and you might just want to play this and risk it, but there is a slight problem that the move queen b6 immediately here is quite hard to meet, and it's been proven that maybe it's not more than a draw. So from a theoretical point of view, to give you another option, something fresh and something which will give you a chance to get an advantage, I'm going to suggest taking on c5 here. So something totally new. And in the last year, this has been played by Aronian on a couple of occasions, Richard Report, and other super grandmasters. So this is something we're also going to look at. And then hopefully I will cover anything else that may be troublesome. But to start off with, the way, again, I really want to emphasize how to learn in my eyes is it's not the particular moves that I want you to learn, it's the ideas. Obviously, you're going to have to get to grip with the moves to learn the ideas, but I want you to think something throughout the course of this DVD. And you can play this back many times, but every time a move is played, I will try to explain it myself. You might get a bit sick of me doing that, but I think it's important. You should be thinking, why? Why? Why is we're playing this? We're looking at this from a white point of view, so mainly from a white side, but also from our opponent's side. Why did our opponent play that move? How does that affect our plan? What plan are we doing? What are we trying to achieve? What even middle game positions will I likely get from this setup that I'm getting, what plans in the middle game. I really want to get these plans across to you because it's the middle game where people lose track. And this opening, it's an opening DVD. I want to get you into nice middle games, which you'll know the plans in. And that's another aim. So it's really the plans that I want you to get to grips with. There's some new plans I'm going to show you in the courses, latest theory, and I'm even going to give you a couple of options in some cases which may fit your style, an aggressive option and a more calm option, and I'll give you the choice of what you want to play. But it's really the plans I want to get across to you. I'm hoping this will be a nice updated version of the London system. A lot of work's gone into it, and I have tried to cover as much as I can find out there in the world of chess. But if you're new to this opening, welcome to what is a wonderful world of the London system. We'll have a lot of fun here. Hopefully you'll learn this with a smile on your face, and that must be the best way to learn. So now we're going to move on to the next part of this, and we're just going to talk a little bit more introduction about the opening before we dive into anything too deep.